Okay guys, we are in 5.2. We're using linear equations in slope-intercept form. So let me read the key concepts at the beginning because that's important that you have this written down and you understand it. So identify, you can write an equation of a line and slope intercept form by step 1, identify the slope, which is m. You can use the slope formula to calculate the slope if you know 2 points on the line. So if you don't have a graph and you just know 2 ordered pairs, that's how you get the slope. Then you find the y-intercept. You can substitute the slope and the coordinates of a point xy on the line in y equals mx plus b, then solve for b. You then write the equation y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to show you what that means. Sometimes it sounds a little confusing when you just read it, but when you do it, it will be fine. Okay, so we're going to write an equation if we're given 2 points. So we're given -1, 3, that's one of the ordered pairs, and the other one, okay, actually we're going to start with an ordered pair and just the slope. M equals -4. We're going to get to 2 ordered pairs later on. So we're going to start where they just give you the slope and they give you 1 ordered pair. So that is your x and y, correct? And we want it in the form y equals mx plus b. So I already know what the slope is, so I can fill that part in. Y equals -4 times x. What I'm looking for is b. So how do you think I'm going to use the fact that I know this equation to find b? Well, here I'm given an x and y. Can I plug y and x in and the fact that I know the slope to find b? That's what they were trying to say. Yes, exactly. That's how we're going to do it. So into this equation, y is 3. The slope, we know that was given to us, sorry. There we go, you can see it better. The slope is -4. And then the x value here is -1 plus b. So I've just used this equation and I'm plugging everything in now. So now I can solve and find b, and then I have the answer. So it's not that bad. So 3 equals -4 times -1 is going to make that a +4 plus b. So to solve for b, I have to subtract this 4. So to subtract 4 here, subtract 4 here. So b is equal to 3 minus 4, which is -1. So now I can go back here and write the equation. So that would be the correct equation for slope-intercept form if I knew the slope and I had that particular ordered pair. So you see, you just plug in and you find what b is, and then you have it. So as long as you know how to put, a lot of algebra is just plugging in and knowing how to solve 1-step, 2-step, multi-step equations and understanding PEMDAS. If you remember all your rules, then it just builds on itself. Okay, all right, so there we go. So that's the first type. Now the second type is where we are given 2 ordered pairs. That was the one I was trying to do first, but here it is. Okay, so now you're given this ordered pair, -2, 5, and 2, -1. Okay, so you look at that, and none of them are the y-intercept. Alright, so you always look and see if they give you a y-intercept, but they have not here. So we need it to look like this. So I don't have the y-intercept and I don't have the slope. So the first thing I'm going to do is get the slope. Alright, so I have 2 ordered pairs, so you should know now how to get the slope from 2 ordered pairs. Just go ahead and label it x and y. Then this is the second x and the second y. That's why I put the 2 at the bottom. Alright, so second y minus first y. -1 minus 5, that's on top, the changes in y's, over the changes in x. 2 minus -2. Okay, so -1 minus 5 is going to be -6, and 2 minus negative is going to change to a positive, and that's going to be 4. So I've got negative 6 over 4, but we know that we don't leave it like that. That can reduce to negative 3 over 2. So there I have my slope, so I can go ahead and do that. But what I'm missing is the b. So I have two ordered pairs. I have negative 2, 5 and 2, negative 1. So can't we do what we did in example 1? You already know the slope. Just pick one of the ordered pairs. You either use the first one or the second one. It does not matter which one you use. So let's go ahead and I mean, it doesn't bother me. I always pick numbers that are smaller because they're easier. So let's go ahead and use 2, negative 1. So we know that the slope is negative 3 over 2. We know that y is negative 1. So I'm going to plug negative 1 equals, I know the slope is negative 3 over 2, and then x over here, because I'm using the second ordered pair. So let me go ahead and highlight that in red so you can see. Okay, this is the one I'm using. So I'm going to plug in a 2 and then plus b. And the reason this works out real nice, because 2 and 2 are going to divide to 1, so that makes it real easy. You don't have to hassle with some fraction. So negative 1 equals 2 cancels to 1, divides, and I have negative 3 times 1, which is just negative 3, plus b. Now I'm going to add 3 to solve for b. So b is 3 minus 1, which is 2. So now I have everything I need. So here we go back, and let me go ahead and put the color around the final answer. There it is. Y equals negative 3 over 2x plus 2. So the slope, or the rate of change, is negative 3 over 2, and the y-intercept, the b, is 2. So when you have two ordered pairs, if you don't have the y-intercept, get the slope first. Then you use either the second or the first. It does not matter. You would have gotten the same answer, and you will find out what b is. So that's something that you do see quite a lot. All these lines and things come up over and over again. So you really do need to understand this. Some things in algebra you see more than others. Anything with all the lines that we've been doing, and factoring, and as we go on and solving equations, they come up over and over again. Alright, so we're going to get to the third type of example. We're going to do the same thing as this, but guess what? Now they're going to give it to us in functional notation. Alright, so you have to remember that. So they want you to write an equation, but now they give it to you in functional notation. F of 4 equals 9, and f of negative 4 equals negative 7. That's why you have to understand functional notation. So you should know from last time that here, this is the same as 4, 9, the x is 4, the y is 9, and this ordered pair, the x is negative 4, and the y is negative 7. So do that first, okay? Then you're going to do the same thing you did. You do not have the y-intercept, and the way you know you have the y-intercept is if x is 0. But x is not 0 in either one of these, so you do not have the y-intercept. So guess what? We got to do the slope. Alright, so let me pick a green. So label x, y, second x, second y. Okay? So the change in y over the change in x. So negative 7 minus 9, and then negative 4 minus 4. Okay, so make sure you always have that formula written down. This is the formula to find the slope. Second y minus first y over second x minus first x. Okay, so you need to remember that because that comes up over and over again. So negative 7 minus negative 9, that is going to be what? Negative 16. And then negative 4 minus 4 is just negative 8. And then negative 16 divided by negative 8 is a positive 2. So I know that 2 is my slope or my rate of change. Now, obviously I need to plug in just like we have been doing, and I'll put it over here. We need to plug everything into here to find b. So we already know the slope is 2. We pick an x and a y. So it doesn't matter if we do the first one or the second one. I always look for the easiest. I mean, I don't mind. Positive numbers are normally easier than negative numbers, but whichever pair you pick, it does not matter. You would get the same b. So y is 9, the slope is 2, and the x here is 4 plus b. So 9 equals 8 plus b. And if I subtract 8 from 9, b is going to be 1. 9 minus 8 is 1. So this is my equation. So always when you're doing homework and stuff, always box it in so I can see. You want to show your work, and obviously you guys write neater than me, but you can see what I've been doing. I took the functional notation and wrote it in ordered pairs. Then I use the slope formula to get the slope. Remember to always be careful with signs. 2 negatives divided will make a positive. If you have the wrong sign and you plug it back in, you're going to get a completely wrong equation. So 2 is correct. Then when you plug it in, you know the slope, you know y, you know x, and you can solve for b, which is the y-intercept. Then you go back now and you've found the slope is 2, you found the y-intercept is 1, you're good to go, and there is your equation taking care of everything. Okay? Alright, so real quick, I'm going to put that up. We're just going to look at this real quick in the book. Okay, how to write equations in slope-intercept form. So they're showing different things depending on what you're given. The first one is you're given a slope and a y-intercept. Okay, so it might be on a graph, or they might just give it to you, and you already know the y-intercept and you can count the slope, or they give you the y-intercept and the slope in the equation. Then you just plug it in. That's super simple. The next one is they give you the slope and 1 point. Okay, so that was at the beginning, like 2, 3, and the slope is 5. So you already know the slope. You plug everything into y equals mx plus b. You plug in the x and y, you know the slope, you find b. The other way that we just did is when you're given 2 points. So you have to use the 2 points or the ordered pairs, and you've got to get the slope first. Then you take one of the ordered pairs and you get the second one. Okay? So here we're going to do a word problem. So let's just look at this one. Okay, let me focus in here. Let's read it. Your gym membership. Okay, modeling real-world situations. You can model a real-world situation that involves a constant rate of change. So I was telling you that with an equation in slope-intercept form. You see a lot of these kind of problems. So you're going to get more proficient with them the more you do them. So your gym membership costs $33 per month after initial fee. You paid a total of $228 after 6 months. Write an equation that gives the total cost of the function. So I'm going to go ahead here. Total cost of the function of the length of your gym membership in months. So C equals something times T. Find the total cost after 9 months. All right. So we're looking here. I'm trying to show both at the same time. Here we go. Okay, so your total. So we're looking here. So we need to find what the slope is. We know that cost, and then months is time, and then the initial cost. We call that B. So we're going to use this and we're going to make an equation. That's what they want us to do. Okay? To write an equation, then find the total cost after 9 months. So your gym membership costs $33 per month. So like I said, per month means that's the slope. So here is my slope, that's what I'm looking for. And I'm also looking for the B, okay? So my slope is $33, so I already know that. You paid a total of $228 after 6 months, okay? So T time is like my X and cost is my Y. So I have an ordered pair, 6 and 228, all right? That is my ordered pair right there. So I'm trying to show you the word problem, then show you the work, okay? So we have to get an equation first. So on my equation, I already know my slope, but I don't know my B, okay? But I do know that this is T and this is C. So T is here and C is there. I can use that for a word problem just like we did before. You didn't have a word problem, just plug everything in and find B. And B here is the initial cost of starting the gym membership. Remember, they always have an initial cost. So it's $33 per month, or maybe you have to pay $50 or whatever it is, or $150 just to join. So let's see what the initial cost was to join. So C is 228 equals, my slope here is 33 times how many months is 6 plus B, which is my initial cost. So 228 equals 33 times 6. So 228, okay, and then that is going to be, let me see, 198 plus B. Now I'm going to subtract 198, and B is going to be 228 minus 198. That's going to give me 30. All right. So now I know everything to write this function. I already have the slope, and now I have the initial cost. So the answer to this is, the equation would look like this. C equals 33T plus 30, okay? So it's 33, that's the A part. It's $33 a month, and it cost me $30 to join. All right, the B part for this is, now that you have an equation, they ask you to find the total cost after 9 months. So what do you think I'm going to do? I have the equation. T is time, so I'm going to plug in 33 times 9 plus the $30 to join. That would be how much I paid up to when I pay the 9 months. So when you figure that all out, you end up with 327, okay? 33 times 9 plus 30, the total cost is 327. So that's the B part. If they ask you for 10 months, you would put 10. If they ask you for 11 months, you'd just plug in 11. So once you have the equation figured out, you know the rate of change and you know the initial cost, the B and the M, the slope. Then you can answer anything that they're going to ask you. And these are very common word problems that you're going to get in algebra. All right, so the next one, I'm just going to follow along with the book, and we're going to look at this and then we're going to work it. I'll show you how they did it together. Okay, so let's go ahead and let me see if I need to increase, I'll increase the brightness a little bit. Okay, so we're solving a multi-step problem. So it's all about bicycling. Okay, in bicycle motocross, BMX racing, racers purchase a 1-year membership to a track. They also pay an entry fee for each race at that track. One racer paid a total of $125 after 5 races. That sounds to me like that's going to be an ordered pair. A second racer paid a total of $170 after 8 races. How much money does the track membership cost, and what is the entry fee per race? So what they're asking for, how much does a track membership cost, is the B, and then what is the entry fee per race? That's the slope. Okay, So you should see that you have 2 ordered pairs, okay? So the first ordered pair is 5 races cost 125. So you would put 5, 125. Then the second racer, 8 races, because you always do the racing first and pay, so 8, 170. So those are your 2 ordered pairs. If you find the slope, you're going to find how much each race costs. So there you go. So you're going to put C for cost, and the entry fee, that's your slope, and they put R for races, and then B is the membership cost. So we are trying to find the membership cost and the slope. So obviously we're going to find the slope first. How much does it cost for each race? So you're going to use the 2 ordered pairs that I told you. And here it is, 5, 125 and 8, 170. So when you do the slope and you figure it out, it reduces down to $15. So it's $15 for every race. So we found that part. So we go back and we know it's $15, and we find the track membership cost B now. So we know the slope, or how much it costs for each race, and we have 1 ordered pair. You can use whichever one. Here they used 5 and 125. So they go ahead and they plug in. 125 is the cost. We know the slope is 15, and we know that this person did 5 races plus B, and that will help us to find the initial fee. That's the initial fee that you pay just to join the racing before you've even done any of the races. So again, you're going to work it all out. 15 times 5, I think, what is that, 75 from 125. So B is 50. So there you go. So now you answer the question. Always answer the question. The track membership cost is $50. That's the initial cost, how much it costs to go in. Then the entry fee for every race is $15. That's the slope. So do you see whether you're just figuring it out or they're giving it to you from a real world problem? You are going to use the information as ordered pairs and figure out the information, whether it's slope or the initial cost. Alright guys, so this is really important that you understand these word problems and you practice some of them. Okay guys, good.